Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to go over the 4 trends that you need to know going into 2026. This is going to affect everything. So if you buy, sell, or trade cards, you need to know these 4 trends. And if you stay to the end, I have a bonus for you. You're not going to want to miss that. So let's get into trend number 1, and I got them all written down. So first one is the PSA boycott. Now, if you don't know what's going on, right now there is a boycott of PSA by a lot of group submitters as well as some collectors. And the question becomes, going into 2026, is this boycott going to actually affect PSA? Now, if you didn't know this other news, again, not everybody is on social media all the time, but PSA just announced, that's Collectors Universe, just announced that they are also going to purchase or acquire Beckett Grading Company. That means that Collectors Universe is going to own PSA, going to own SGC, and now they're going to own Beckett. Now, I don't know if everybody is aware, but that would technically make Collectors Universe a monopoly, which means that it's in violation of antitrust laws. Therefore, there should be another lawsuit happening at PSA. Now, if you don't know as well, there's already a lawsuit going on that was filed in 2025. The latest court date was on December 17th. I will be reporting about that. So if you want to know about that, hit the subscribe button. But that is what you should know, is going into 2026, PSA has problems. So if you're sending cards in, just be aware you may not get those cards back anytime soon. Turnaround times are higher, their upcharges are higher, their fees are higher, everything is higher. There's also an alleged scam going on that PSA grades your cards low, gives you an offer that's a lowball offer. They then buy your cards, open up the slabs themselves, regrade them at a higher grade, and then sells them to make more profit off of your cards. So basically, they're stealing your cards and then selling them for a higher profit and giving you pennies on the dollar. If that's true, maybe you should stop sending your cards to PSA altogether, which is why there's a boycott. All right. Let's get into trend number 2, and that is the on-card auto with authentication. Now, for everybody that is a follower of this channel, you know that I am trying to trade this card, the Mickey Mantle on-card auto, again, authenticated, ironically, by PSA. But that's the point, is that's the new trend in 2026, is that people are looking for real autos, not autos from the manufacturer. We're talking real autos by the athletes that you then get authenticated. That is now the new trend for 2026. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, just be aware of that. Now, I am on Veriswap. I am trying to trade cards there. One of the things that I didn't realize, but I went into the terms of service and looking at rules, you cannot trade non-authenticated autos on that site. They must be authenticated in some way. So all of my autographs that I got from athletes that I didn't get graded by PSA, now what do? There is an agreement between JSA and CGC. They actually do authentication of autographs as well. Just be aware of that. I am looking into that myself. All right. What is trend number 3? And that is the end of breaks. Now, I know what you're saying. What? No, there's no way that breaks are going anywhere. But the tide is turning. There are now several allegations against Topps, Fanatics, Panini, that they have rigged the breaks. Therefore, certain breakers, certain social media sites are getting the top end cards in their breaks. Therefore, you are literally throwing your money in the toilet, in the garbage. Like, you're not actually paying for what you think you're paying. So I came up with a formula for how to determine how much you should pay for a break. And I know, like, well, I'm not saying not to break because, again, you want to gamble, that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with adults gambling. There are casinos, there's online gambling. You're allowed to gamble if you want. My issue with breaking and my issue with the hobby is that it's targeting children. I don't believe that that should be legal. You should not be allowed to target children. And two, you should know what you're doing. So that's it. If you want to do breaks, that's fine, but you're spending way too much money. So here's the formula to determine how much you should spend on a break. Take the total amount of cards. So if it's a 1-box break, and again, most of these boxes have about 60 cards in them, right? That's it. You want to divide by the number of teams. So if there's 60 cards in the box and it's a 1-box break, there are 30 teams. So you divide 60 by 30 and that gets you 2. That's how much you should spend on that break. A 1-box break, you should not spend more than $2 on that break. And if you're telling me, wait a minute, that's ridiculous. There are no breaks are going to go for $2. There's the point. You're overpaying for breaks. Because I don't know if you realize this or not, but you have a 0.1% chance of winning. The odds of you winning are 0.1%.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Now, the reason that I love that clip from Jim Carrey in that movie is because the title of the movie is called Dumb and Dumber. And that's what you are. When you overpay for a break, you are dumb and dumber. And I don't want you to do that. That's why you're subscribed to this channel. That's why you follow me. That's why you want to know what's going on in the hobby. You just don't want to keep throwing your money away. You want to enjoy yourself. And I'm telling you, if you pay less for your breaks, you're going to have more fun because then you're going to go, when you don't win, you're going to be like, all right, it wasn't that bad. Now, obviously, a 1-box break is probably a dumb idea. Just saying, like, that's kind of have to be the evolution of the breaks, is you can't do a 1-box break anymore. Like, anybody that's doing a 1-box break, you are dumb and dumber. End of story. So now you have to look at half case breaks, full case breaks, multi-case breaks. Again, use this formula to basically figure out how many total cards there are in the break, divide that by 30, and there you go. That's basic, and multiply that by $1. That's it. That should be the max that you pay in that break, because unfortunately, you should not pay a premium for gambling. If you want to gamble, gamble, but know how much you're doing. All right. That are the first 3 trends. And if you're following here and you're new, my name is Doc. I know that you're probably going, wait a minute, who are you? So just so everybody's aware, I am a former sports journalist. I'm a 40-year collector, and I'm also a recovering card hoarder. If you are a recovering card hoarder or you're a card hoarder without the recovery, you are welcome here. Again, this channel is all about making sense of sports, sports cards, and life. And so I want to thank you for joining me. The 4th trend on this train here is the crash is coming. And what do I mean by the crash is coming? So I'm sorry, I don't know when. I don't have a crystal ball. This is all I can say. I can see the cracks in the hobby. And we are starting to move towards a repeat of what happened after the first boom, which was back in the late 80s, early 90s. We may be seeing the end of the junk slab era. If PSA owns 3 of the major grading companies, that's a monopoly. They could get sued. Then there's going to be an issue. We already have the grading scandal allegations against PSA. People are starting to realize that if you grade low-end cards, you can't make any money back. In fact, you're paying more for the grading than you are for that the card's actually worth. So the junk slab era may be coming to an end in 2026. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't say exactly when these things are going to end, but more and more people are becoming aware of these issues, which means that it's starting to happen. Now, the crash means that the prices, again, the inflated prices that we're all used to, are starting to see cracks. And I think that the injury to Patrick Mahomes really is going to be the catalyst for everything else to start coming down. Right now, modern cards and rookie cards are worth 50 to 100x Hall of Fame GOATs. That's a problem. There's nothing wrong with hype, and there's nothing wrong with marketing. And the hobby is always slanted to the modern player. Always. That's the way it's always been. The problem is that the multiple on these modern players has gotten out of hand. This is like the dot-com bubble burst. This is the problem. You're putting too much of a premium on the modern player, and it's out of hand. Like Nick Kurtz is a great player, but his cards should not be worth thousands of dollars. That's nuts. You're nuts. I'm sorry. Like, you're nuts. It's just they're not worth that much. In a healthy hobby, the modern players and the rookies should be worth a few $100s each because there's hype around them. Will they be worth that much in the future? Well, it depends on where their career goes. And you just don't know because you're at the very beginning. When these cards jump to thousands of dollars right at the beginning, you're only setting yourself up for a crash later on. And that's sort of what's happening. Most of these cards now, all the downtowns, uptowns, whatever you want to call them, they're starting to not sell. They're not moving anymore. And that's the problem. You're holding on to them, hoping to get someone to buy what you think they're worth, and there's nobody left. That's it. All the people that wanted those cards got those cards. There's no more market. And so the crash is coming because the market's dead in all of those things. Now, I promised you one more bonus because those are the 4 trends for 2026. So here is the bonus. There is a website that I don't know if you know about. In fact, you probably don't because there's only, let's say, around 25,000 people on it right now. So it's a small website, but it is growing every single week. I spoke to the founder in a secret meeting, and I'm telling you right now, this is the trend for 2026. So if you want to know where to go to buy, sell, and trade your cards, this is the website that's now hot. And it is called My Card Post. I know what you're saying. Wait a minute. What the heck is My Card Post? That's what I'm saying. It's a brand new site. It's been around for a couple years, but it is now starting to hit the trend. This is where you can buy, sell, and trade your cards. I am on Veriswap. I've already told you guys that. And I am trying to trade my cards, and it is very, very difficult to trade high-end cards like this one. And the reason why is because you just don't know who you're trading with. Veriswap does not have profiles. That's the difference with My Card Post. You have a profile, and it's all about building your reputation and relationships, which means that you get to be known on the site. Now, what does that mean for you and your cards? Well, there's always a tug of war between people who sell cards and people who buy cards. In order for a website in the hobby to do well, you need, one, enough people who are selling cards, and then you need enough people who are going to buy them. That's what creates the market. Now, eBay is the largest reseller of cards. Why? Because there's millions of people selling cards, and there's millions of people buying cards. And if we look at eBay sales, you can see that certain things are starting to be trends. Like I said, the crash is coming. There are just less sales on eBay in the higher end categories. There's just less. And the reason is because the prices are starting to fall. That's how you know. Now, the other question becomes, well, are there enough buyers and enough sellers on My Card Post? And the answer is now there are. It finally reached a stasis point where if you put your cards up, there are enough buyers to take the cards. In fact, there are more buyers now on My Card Post than sellers, which is now the problem. But that's actually good news for you, which is why I'm bringing it to your attention. If you're looking to sell cards, My Card Post is now the place where buyers are going to look for deals. So if you are inheriting cards, again, getting them from your grandparents, getting them from your aunts and uncles, getting them for your parents, if you don't know where to go to My Card Post, make a profile and put your stuff up, and I promise you'll be able to sell some of that stuff. Now, again, I don't know what you have. There's always that determination. I don't know what you got, but definitely go there. And the reason that you want to sell on My Card Post is because there are no seller fees. I know it's crazy. I don't get it. This is why I think it's the trend for 2026. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button and also hit the hype button because YouTube likes that. Please subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.